pay the bills through the Mask Up campaign, the final payments, and with our thanks again, and anything else for the good for Fresh Creative. If not,
I do have one thing.
Yes, go ahead, Commissioner.
I don't know. I saw that a lot of our municipalities declared emergencies, which meant they had a lot of extra road cleanup that might not be in their budget. Traditionally, and I see Bob Dowd still with us, traditionally, we would do an emergency declaration so that if money comes down from the federal and/or state governments, that our local governments could get reimbursed. Is there a need to do that today to keep that money flowing for our municipalities?
At this point,
may just before we go there, wrap up with Fresh Creative and excuse them from the meeting and thank them again. I just wanted to conclude that business before we move on to the next item. Thank you. All right, now, Bob, do you want to respond to that? And also, if you'd want to give us a weather update or anything around this storm that you'd like to add.
Yeah, we got a lot of wind, which was not part of the forecast, and southern parts of the county got a lot of sleet. It's going to remain cold for the next few days, and I'm not going to try and predict anything else. To Commissioner Litz's question about the disaster declaration, in order for there to be public assistance, this would have to be a record snowstorm, and we only got about a foot in most areas that I'm aware of. If there is something that comes down the pike, we can address that, but at this point we've had no municipalities come to us with any unmet needs. There was no requests for any type of service, so I don't know that there would be any reason to do that at this time.
I appreciate the information. I wanted to make sure we didn't overlook something by accident. Thank you.
Yeah, and there was some municipalities that declared snow emergencies, and a lot of that's done just so that they can require cars be moved and make sure that snow routes are open.
Okay. All right, so Jamie, anything else on the agenda that you need to cover? Okay.
No, I believe we're good. No, we do. Just to say that we do have a meeting next Thursday morning, primarily to adopt the final adoption of the budget. So it's a specially advertised meeting that was included in the schedule earlier this year. We're going to also take that opportunity to cover the 911 project. And so Bob Dowd will be back with you next week, along with some of the design team that's been involved. And we'll speak in much more detail about that now that they've had a couple of months to, put their pencils to paper, so to speak, and flesh out more details of the program since they were given the go ahead to keep up with the design. So we'll have some numbers, some renderings, I think, of what the building would look like and so on. So we'll do that next week as well.
Okay. I know we have one more meeting next week, but we cover a lot of ground in these meetings and accomplish a lot of business. And I want to thank my colleagues for a very good experience working with you again this year. Thank you. That's been
Merry Christmas.
Very tough, but very rewarding for me to work with you guys. So thank you.
Well, I appreciate that, Mr. Chairman, and likewise, I appreciate the efforts that collectively we put in, and obviously 2020 was a year that none of us ever expected to experience, and certainly we hope we never have to experience it again. But I think with the help of Jamie and our department heads and, certainly emergency services and so on, in many ways, it's a year that we can celebrate. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Amen. Okay.
And I think that we, just to highlight some of those things that you mentioned, we disagree a lot, but we also get work done. And I can say that whether it was the pandemic or the purchase of real estate from Camp Shand to some of the other things that we did with the city share of the building, and also the East End, I might even be missing some, but then you had besides the pandemic, you had things going on like the election, a very major presidential election. And we had a lot of balls in the air, and it did take a team to get it all done. Not just the three of us, but every employee in the county, and Jamie, again, did a stellar job in making sure it all got done. And then there's the public who, for the most part, cooperated and understood and was patient and pitched in where they could. So thank you, everyone, and Merry Christmas.
Okay. Thank you. Move to adjourn.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
All right, we stand adjourned, and thank you again for every effort that you've made on behalf of Lebanon County. Have a good week.
Thank you.